At the end of the last video, I talked about interaction between any two bodies. Whenever two bodies interact, each one of them applies force onto the other. But how do the bodies interact? Interaction between the bodies can be basically of two types. One in which the bodies are in contact with each other, and the other in which they are not in contact with each other. The forces that result when the bodies are in contact with each other are called contact forces, and the forces that result between the bodies when the bodies are not in contact are called as non-contact forces. It's easy to think of contact forces, but it's a little difficult to think of non-contact forces, right? Yes, there are some forces which operate between objects even though the objects are not in contact. We will study more about non-contact forces in the future videos. First, we will discuss contact forces. Suppose that you're thirsty and there is a glass full of water lying on the table. In order to drink some water from this glass, you have to lift the glass towards your mouth. That is, you have to apply force on the glass. How are you applying this force? You are touching the glass with your hand and lifting it. Here, your hand is in contact with the glass. So the force you're applying on the glass is a contact force. Here is an example from the previous video. This player wants to pass this football towards his teammate, who is standing on the other side of the pitch. The player will apply the force on the ball by kicking it. When the player applies force, his foot is in contact with the football. So this force is a contact force. Other examples of contact forces can be pushing or pulling the desk from one point to another point. Here our hands are in contact with the desk. Similarly, pressing the keys on the keyboard, moving a piece on chessboard are some of the other examples in which parts of our body are in contact with the objects and apply force on them. In all the examples that we've seen till now, it is the parts of the human body that are in contact with the objects. The forces generated due to our body being in contact with the object are called muscular forces. The muscles in our body expand and contract when we apply force on objects. Animals also use muscular force to carry out their physical activities. A bullock cart is used to carry load from one point to another. Bullocks are tied with a cart and the load is then added onto the cart. The bullock then applies muscular force on the cart and moves it forward. So a muscular force is a contact force. Are there any other contact forces other than muscular force? Yes, there are. We will see them in the next video.